London, a city steeped in history, was home to countless hidden gems. Among them was a quaint antique shop nestled on a quiet street, its windows displaying a fascinating array of artifacts from bygone eras. The shop's proprietor, James Brown, was a man of discerning taste and a deep passion for history. James possessed an uncanny ability to recognize the stories whispered by objects from the past. His shop, filled with antique furniture, vintage clocks and dusty books, was more than just a business. It was a sanctuary for forgotten treasures, each with a tale to tell. He treated every item with the utmost care, meticulously researching its origins and preserving its history. His customers, a mix of curious tourists and seasoned collectors, were drawn to his knowledge and the unique stories he shared about each piece. A man in a rumpled suit, introducing himself as an estate sale manager, stood before him. He explained that he was handling the estate of a deceased war veteran and had come across a rather peculiar item. James listened intently, his curiosity growing with each word. The estate sale manager described a complex machine, crafted from metal and wood, with an intricate arrangement of keys and rotors. It was an Enigma machine, a relic from World War II, used by the Germans to encrypt their military communications. James was immediately captivated. He had read extensively about the Enigma machine and its pivotal role in the war. The thought of owning such a historically significant artifact sent a thrill of excitement through him. Without hesitation, James agreed to purchase the machine. As he carefully carried the Enigma machine into his shop, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was no ordinary antique. The Enigma machine occupied a place of honor on James's workbench, its metallic presence casting an almost eerie glow in the dimly lit shop. Dust motes danced in the air, illuminated by the single lamp that James had focused on the machine. He felt a strange energy emanating from it, a tangible link to a turbulent past. Its keys, each one a tiny lever waiting to be pressed, seemed to beckon him, inviting him to unlock the secrets hidden within its intricate mechanisms. The rotors, each one a complex assembly of wires and contacts, hinted at a complex code, a language only the machine could understand. Carefully, almost reverently, James began to clean the machine. Each swipe of his cloth revealed more of its intricate details, the craftsmanship both beautiful and chilling. He found himself wondering about the hands that had last touched these keys, the minds that had devised the complex codes. As he worked, the silence of the shop seemed to deepen, broken only by the ticking of an antique clock on the wall. It was as if the shop itself was holding its breath, waiting for the Enigma to awaken from its slumber and reveal its secrets. With the machine now cleaned and polished, James turned his attention to its inner workings. He consulted the manuals he had managed to acquire, his fingers tracing the diagrams of circuits and rotors. He felt a growing sense of anticipation, like an archaeologist on the verge of unearthing a lost city. Carefully, he adjusted the rotors according to the instructions, his fingers moving with a practiced dexterity born from years of handling delicate antiques. The machine responded with a low hum, a sound both mechanical and strangely organic, as if it were drawing breath after a long sleep. He hesitated for a moment, then tentatively pressed a key. The machine whirred in response and a different rotor turned, clicking into place with a satisfying finality. It was working. This relic of war, silent for years, was alive again. Encouraged, James typed a few more random letters, the machine responding each time with a mechanical precision that belied the chaos it had once orchestrated. But then something changed. The hum intensified, and the rotors began to spin on their own, faster and faster. Section 3. A Cryptic Plea. James watched in astonishment as the machine, now seemingly possessed of a life of its own, clattered away. It was as if an unseen hand were typing, a ghostly presence communicating from beyond the veil of time. Fear gave way to fascination as he leaned closer, trying to decipher the message. The letters, appearing in a jumble on the Enigma's output panel, seemed random at first. But as he continued to watch, a pattern began to emerge. It was German, he realized, his pulse quickening as he recognized the language. Hilfe uns, the message began, the words echoing strangely in the silent shop. Wir sind gefangen, help us, we are trapped. A chill ran down James's spine as the full import of the message hit him. This was no random code. This was a cry for help. He reached for the dictionary of German he kept on hand for just such occasions, his hands trembling slightly. As he translated the rest of the message, a sense of dread washed over him. Zeit und Raum, the message concluded. Time and space. What had he stumbled upon? Section 1. The Shadow of U-576. James sat staring at the translated message, his mind racing. Trapped in time and space, he muttered, the words echoing hollowly in the quiet shop. Was it possible? Could the Enigma machine be a conduit to some forgotten corner of history? A shiver ran down his spine as he considered the implications. He thought back to his research on the Enigma machine, to the countless stories of wartime espionage and daring raids. He knew that the machines were more than just tools of encryption. They were silent witnesses to some of the most pivotal moments of the war. He pulled out his collection of books on World War II, their pages filled with tales of bravery and sacrifice, but also of mysteries that remained unsolved to this day. He began to search for any mention of messages received from beyond the grave, any hint of temporal anomalies. Hours later, bleary-eyed but no closer to an answer, he stumbled upon a footnote in a book about the Battle of the Atlantic. It mentioned a German U-boat, U-576, that had disappeared without a trace in 1944, its last known location somewhere in the North Atlantic. Section 2. Coordinates in Time. Intrigued, James continued reading. The footnote mentioned that U-576 had been part of a wolf pack, a group of submarines tasked with intercepting Allied convoys. It had been a particularly successful boat, sinking several ships before vanishing without a trace. Then his heart skipped a beat. The book mentioned that U-576 had carried a special Enigma machine, one that had been modified for use with a new, more complex code. Could this be the same machine? Was it possible that the message he had received was from the lost crew of U-576? He searched frantically for more information on U-576, his fingers trembling with anticipation. He found a website dedicated to documenting the history of German U-boats, and there, amidst the casualty lists and technical specifications, he found it. A single line, easy to miss if you weren't looking for it, stated that the Enigma machine recovered from the estate sale had indeed been aboard U-576. The serial number matched perfectly. It was as if fate itself was guiding him, leading him down a path to uncover a forgotten truth. Section 3. A Race Against Time. James stared at the confirmation on the screen, his mind reeling. The Enigma machine in his shop was not just a relic of war, it was a lifeline to a group of men lost in time. He had to do something, he had to help them. He thought of the message, help us, we are trapped, time and space. They were counting on him, but how could he possibly hope to rescue a submarine lost for almost a decade? And what did it even mean to be trapped in time and space? He knew he couldn't do this alone. He needed help. Someone who could understand the complexities of the Enigma machine and the intricacies of wartime code-breaking. He needed someone who wouldn't dismiss his story as the ramblings of a madman. He thought of his friend Clara, a historian specializing in World War II cryptography. She was brilliant, resourceful, and perhaps just crazy enough to believe him. He picked up the phone, his fingers dialing her number with a sense of urgency he hadn't felt in years. The fate of U-576 and perhaps even the course of history itself might depend on her answer. Section 1. Seeking Guidance. Clara arrived at the shop, her eyes wide with concern as James recounted the events of the past few days. She listened patiently, her expression a mixture of skepticism and intrigue as he described the Enigma machine's cryptic message and his research into the fate of U-576. Trapped in time and space, she repeated, her brow furrowed in thought. It's a fantastical notion, James, but the Enigma machine's message is undeniable. And the fact that it was aboard U-576 when it vanished, it's too much of a coincidence to ignore. They spent hours examining the Enigma machine, searching for any clue, any hidden mechanism that could explain its strange behavior. Clara, with her expertise in cryptography, meticulously analyzed the message, hoping to find a hidden pattern or a secondary meaning within its words. But the Enigma machine remained stubbornly silent, its secrets locked tight within its intricate workings. Frustration mounted as they hit one dead end after another, their initial excitement giving way to a growing sense of helplessness. They needed a new approach, a way to see beyond the veil of the physical and into the realm of the unknown. Section 2. The Seance. It was Clara who suggested contacting Eleanor Monroe, a renowned psychic known for her ability to communicate with spirits and tap into residual energy. James was initially hesitant, his scientific mind rebelling against the idea of the supernatural. But desperation and a flicker of hope overcame his skepticism. Eleanor arrived at the shop the following evening, her presence calming and reassuring. She had piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through you, and a quiet confidence that immediately put James and Clara at ease. She listened intently as they explained their story, her gaze never leaving the Enigma machine. The séance began at the stroke of midnight. The air grew heavy with anticipation as Eleanor lit candles and arranged crystals around the Enigma machine, creating an ethereal atmosphere within the shop's usually mundane walls. The only sound was the soft crackle of the candles and the gentle ticking of the antique clock on the wall. Eleanor closed her eyes, her breathing slow and rhythmic. She placed her hands on the Enigma machine, her fingers lightly tracing its keys and rotors. A hush fell over the room as she entered a trance-like state, her face pale but serene. Section 3. A Glimmer of Hope. The room grew noticeably colder and a faint salty tang filled the air as if a wave had just crashed against the shop's walls. The candles flickered, casting dancing shadows that seemed to writhe and twist like phantoms. James and Clara exchanged nervous glances, their hearts pounding in their chests. Then Eleanor spoke, her voice a low whisper that seemed to emanate from the Enigma machine itself. "They are here," she breathed, her eyes still closed. Trapped between the folds of time, their energy intertwined with this machine. "They are calling for help," Eleanor continued, her voice growing stronger. "They speak of a storm, a blinding light, and a sudden shift in reality. They are lost, adrift in a sea of time, unable to find their way back." James and Clara listened with bated breath, their hope rekindled by Eleanor's words. It was as if a door had been opened, a crack in the wall between the living and the dead. The Enigma machine was no longer just a machine. It was a beacon, a lifeline to a group of souls lost in the annals of time. Section 1. Deciphering the Enigma. Eleanor emerged from her trance, her brow creased with the effort of bridging the divide between worlds. She spoke of ghostly whispers, of fragmented images, and a profound sense of disorientation emanating from the Enigma machine. The crew of U-576, she revealed, were not dead but suspended in a temporal anomaly, a pocket of time detached from the normal flow. Their only link to the present, she explained, was the Enigma machine itself, its unique modifications somehow entangled with the fabric of time. The cryptic messages, once indecipherable, now took on a new urgency. They were coordinates, Eleanor revealed, but not of place, but of time itself. James and Clara, energized by this revelation, spent the next several days working tirelessly alongside Eleanor. They cross-referenced the Enigma machine's output with historical weather patterns, naval charts, and astronomical records, searching for any correlation, any anomaly that matched Eleanor's visions. The task was daunting, a complex puzzle with pieces scattered across time. Yet they persisted, driven by a shared sense of purpose and a growing empathy for the lost souls of U-576, trapped in a timeless void. Section 2. Charting the unknown. Slowly, painstakingly, a pattern began to emerge. The seemingly random letters and numbers spat out by the Enigma machine, when aligned with specific dates and times, pointed towards a series of powerful solar flares that had occurred in July of 1944, around the time of U-576's disappearance. These flares, they realized, were not just astronomical events, they were temporal markers, signposts in the chaotic sea of time that held U-576 captive. The Enigma machine, influenced by these powerful bursts of energy, was providing a map, a way to navigate to the lost submarine. Armed with this newfound knowledge, James, Clara and Eleanor pooled their resources. They chartered a research vessel, its decks outfitted with state-of-the-art sonar and communication equipment, ready to face the unpredictable waters of the North Atlantic. As the ship cut through the waves, guided by the stars and the cryptic whispers of the Enigma machine, a sense of anticipation hung heavy in the air. They were on a rescue mission unlike any other, a voyage into the unknown heart of a scientific mystery. After weeks at sea, battling storms and equipment failures, they arrived at the coordinates pinpointed by the Enigma machine. The sea was eerily calm, the surface a mirror reflecting the overcast sky. It was as if time itself held its breath, anticipating the events to unfold. With a mixture of trepidation and excitement, James, Clara and Eleanor boarded the submersible, their lifeline to the surface a thin tether of cables and communication lines. As they descended into the murky depths, the familiar world of light and sound faded away, replaced by an oppressive darkness. The sonar hummed, its green glow illuminating the alien landscape of the ocean floor. Suddenly, a blip appeared on the screen. A large metallic shape resting on the seabed. The silhouette was unmistakable, U-576 seemingly frozen in time. As they drew closer, a sense of awe and unease washed over them. The submarine's hull, encrusted with barnacles and seaweed, was eerily pristine, as if it had only recently settled on the ocean floor. The ghostly glow emanating from its portholes hinted at a presence within, a crew suspended in time. The submersible docked with the U-boat's hull, its mechanical arm extending to open the conning tower hatch. James, Clara and Eleanor, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation, entered the submarine's dark and silent interior. The air was thick with the musty odour of stagnant time, a blend of seawater, diesel fuel and something indefinable, like the air in a forgotten tomb. The submarine's interior, dimly lit by their headlamps, was a time capsule, frozen in a moment of suspended animation. Charts lay open on navigation tables, their edges curled with age. Half-eaten meals sat on mess hall tables, the food now petrified remnants of a meal interrupted, and in the control room, slumped over their stations, were the crew of U-576, their faces pale but peaceful, their bodies seemingly untouched by time. Eleanor, her eyes closed, reached out a hand, her fingers brushing against the cold metal of the submarine's interior. "They are here," she whispered, her voice echoing in the stillness. "Trapped, but not gone. Their life force is intertwined with this vessel, held captive by the temporal anomaly." Following Eleanor's guidance, they carefully placed their hands on a specific configuration of dials and levers, a sequence revealed to her by the whispers of the unseen. As they did so, a low hum filled the air, and the submarine's lights flickered, then slowly came back to life, casting an eerie greenish glow throughout the vessel. And then the impossible happened. The crew of U-576 began to stir. Their eyes fluttered open, their chests heaving as they drew in their first breaths in what to them had been mere moments, but to the outside world had been decades. Confusion reigned as the crew, disoriented and bewildered, looked around at their surroundings, their eyes adjusting to the light, their minds struggling to comprehend their situation. They spoke in hushed, excited tones in German, their words washing over James, Clara and Eleanor in a torrent of incomprehension. But amidst the joyous reunions and confused exclamations, Eleanor sensed something amiss. One of the crew members, a tall, lean man with piercing blue eyes and a scar running down his cheek, held himself apart from the others, his gaze wary, his hand hovering near his coat pocket. He was not German, Eleanor realised, her pulse quickening. He was British. The spy, for that is what he was, made a move for his hidden weapon, but James, alerted by Eleanor's warning, was quicker. He lunged, tackling the man to the ground, just as a gunshot echoed through the submarine's confined space. The sound, sharp and unexpected, seemed to shatter the fragile bubble of time that had enveloped them. The air crackled with tension as the U-boat crew, now realising the situation, drew their own weapons, aiming them at the downed spy. James, his heart pounding, managed to restrain the man, his voice a strained whisper as he tried to explain that they were not enemies, that they had come to help. Eleanor, stepping forward, her voice calm and authoritative, addressed the crew in fluent German, her words flowing effortlessly despite the fact that she had never spoken the language before. She explained their presence, their journey through time, and their mission to rescue the lost submarine and its crew. The crew, their faces etched with a mixture of disbelief and relief, lowered their weapons, their gazes shifting from Eleanor to the downed spy and back again. The spy, his face pale but composed, identified himself as Richard Dawson, a British intelligence officer who had infiltrated U-576 on a mission of vital importance. News of the U-576's improbable return sent shockwaves across the globe. What had been dismissed as a wartime casualty, lost to the depths, was now a tangible link to a forgotten chapter of history. The world watched in astonishment as the rescued crew disembarked, their faces etched with a mixture of bewilderment and relief, their eyes reflecting a world vastly different from the one they had left behind. James, Clara and Eleanor found themselves at the centre of a media frenzy, their story captivating the public imagination. They shared their incredible tale, emphasising the bravery of the U-boat crew and the importance of Richard Dawson's mission, which had remained classified for decades. Dawson's information proved invaluable, shedding light on secret Nazi operations and altering the course of post-war intelligence. The Enigma machine, once a tool of war and secrecy, became a symbol of resilience, a testament to the enduring power of human connection across time and space. James's antique shop, once a quiet haven for forgotten treasures, was transformed into a pilgrimage site for history enthusiasts and curious minds alike. The rescued crew, after a period of readjustment and debriefing, were hailed as heroes. Their stories, once lost to the depths, were now shared with the world, reminding everyone of the sacrifices made during those tumultuous years. The Enigma machine's role in their rescue only added to the mystique, solidifying its place in history as an object of enduring fascination. As for James, Clara and Eleanor, their lives were forever changed by their extraordinary experience. The boundaries of their realities had been stretched, their perceptions of time and space irrevocably altered. They had touched the face of the impossible and emerged with a profound respect for the mysteries that lay hidden beneath the surface of the everyday. James's antique shop remained a hub of activity, but it was now imbued with a new sense of purpose. He continued to curate his collection, his eye drawn to objects with stories to tell. But now he listened more intently, aware that even the most unassuming artifact could hold a secret waiting to be unlocked. The Enigma machine stood silently in its glass case, a testament to the incredible journey it had facilitated. Visitors, drawn by its legend, often claimed to hear faint whispers emanating from its keys, a ghostly echo of messages transmitted across time. Whether real or imagined, these whispers served as a poignant reminder that the past is never truly gone, its echoes reverberating through the corridors of time. And so, the Enigma machine, once a weapon of war, became a symbol of hope, a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity and the boundless mysteries of time. Its story, a blend of historical fact and fantastical speculation, continues to fascinate and inspire, reminding us that some secrets are meant to be shared, while others remain hidden, waiting for the right moment and the right souls to unlock their secrets.